What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into,
You mean a phone?
whatever it's called.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
I think it's a phone.
And I think you're a nitwit.
Your mother's a nitwit.
What did you say?
Ow, 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 ow. Stop that.
What you guys looking at?
A phone.
Why don't you just push the button?
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button?
Why don't you just push the button? You. Push it!
It's not a phone.
Shoot!
What happened? I want to go next.
Okay, so if creating that kind of animation you have just seen right now is something you would like to do, then big congratulations, my friend, because you have clicked the right video at the right time. Because in this video, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you the whole of my workflow that I've used in creating this animation. Now, I'm not going to be skipping any step in this video. That is why you would see already that it's going to be a very long video, because I'm not going to do like other tutorials where you are given the skeletal aspect and then you are left to figure out the rest. Don't worry, you don't have to figure out anything. I'm going to show you step by step how I have created that pixel level, DreamWorks level animation that you have just seen at the start. We're going to start from the scripting to the storyboard down to generating the videos, and most importantly, I'm going to show you the whole process of my editing. I'm going to show you the editing process I used in generating or creating this animation that you have just seen. All right, so I'm going to provide all the assets that I'll be using in this course or in this tutorial as well. I think it's fair to call it a course because it's going to be a very long video, and I hope you are going to stick around with me. So all the assets that I'm going to be using, the videos, the prompts that I used, and the sound effects, the background music, everything is going to be in the description of this video. So even in case if you are not able to generate the exact type of videos that we'll be generating in the course, you can as well use the ones I have already generated, which I will also provide in the assets of this video. Now, if this sounds exciting and you want to follow along in this tutorial already, I need you to do something for me. Smash that like button and get subscribed to the channel, because there's going to be a whole lot of full courses like this in this tutorial. That is basically what I want to do, and I'm not going to be giving you guys the skeleton. It's always going to be the full flesh of the tutorial. All right, so if you have done that, and I believe you have, let us get into the tutorial because I'm pretty much excited. All right, see you at the other side. Now, the first step we're going to take in our animation is to create a storyboard for our animation, and we're going to be using Flow for that. So in your browser, just type in Flow and just go ahead with the first result right here. All right, so if you don't have an account, you'll be prompted to create an account. You can go ahead and create an account, and yeah. So once you're inside of Flow, you have something that looks like this, and the first thing you want to do is click on New Project, and this is going to pop up. I'm just going to click out of this, and once you are inside of Flow right here, head over to Tools right here and click on Tools, and now you're going to scroll down inside of these tools, and we are looking for a tool that is called Storyboard Studio. Now here is Storyboard Studio, and you will be amazed by how useful this tool is inside of Flow. I just discovered it a few days ago, and I used it for this animation, of course. And go ahead and click on Storyboard Studio inside of your Flow. Okay, and that's basically going to load up. And over here, you're going to see this pop-up which says welcome to Story Studio, and you want to select 3D animation right here. So switch it up from realistic to 3D animation. Okay, and once you've done that, click on get started. And yeah, so we are here in the Storyboard Studio, and right here you can see we have script, we have the toggle for script, we have assets, and we have the storyboard, which is of course where you generate your images. Now, this tool makes it super easy for you to create your storyboard from your script, directly from your script, right? So it's more like Whisk, but this allows you to put in your script over here, and from your script, it is able to generate your storyboard for you. So it's more like an advanced Whisk, so to say. All right, so now I have my script for this animation we've just seen from the scratch, which I am going to open up right here. So here is the script. And if you look at it, you can see these are all the dialogues that were in that animation we have just watched earlier on. I have everything, and I'll make everything available in the description of this video. All the resources we're going to be using, you can find everything in the description of this video. So do check them out, including the whole generated videos and everything. You'll find them in the description. All right, so I have the script right here, and what you are going to do is copy the whole script. So I'm just going to scroll down. It's a bit long. Just copy the whole script, and let's head back to Flow right here, which is the Storyboard Studio, and I'm basically just going to paste it right there. So just paste in your script, and even if you've generated the script from ChatGPT, just copy the whole script. In case you are creating another animation different from this one, copy the whole script, paste it inside of the Storyboard Studio, and it will just format the script for you, and you see everything just like we have it right here. Okay, so once you've done that, you head over to assets, and automatically this tool is going to create placeholders for all the characters that has appeared inside of your script. So it's going to read everything, and as you can see, we have characters. We have these three characters, which are the three parrots in our animation. So we have Kick, we have Zalon, and we have Bromo. And you can see in the script I had already named these characters. So automatically it was able to detect that Peak is a character, Zalon is a character, and of course Bromo is a character. And we only have one location in this animation, which is of course on the rooftop. So we have the rooftop location right here, and we have the props, which is basically the time machine. And it also detected a wooden spear. I wouldn't know what that would. I think it's the wooden spear that the guy that time traveled came back with, but we actually don't need to create that props, but it just created that for us as part of the props, but that's okay. All right, so we have our characters, we have a location, and we have our props. All right, so what is next for us to do now is to generate the character image of all the characters in our story. All right, and to do that, you can click. So what you do now is click on each box, and then you put in the prompt for each characters right here, and you click on create, and that will basically create the images for you. But in my case, when I was creating this, what I did, or what we are going to do, is take the script to ChatGPT, and it's going to give us the character prompts for each of these parrots right there. So it makes things easier for us. Okay, let's do that. All right, so to get prompts for these characters in our story, I'm going to head over to ChatGPT and type in ChatGPT. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload my script, which I have in a PDF file already, and it's in the description if you're following along. Upload your script, which is this one, and of course, if you're creating another story, you just have to follow the same process to do this. And so once you have your script right here, what you're going to do is paste this prompt, which says, give me a 3D Pixar style animation prompt for all the assets, which is the 3 characters. Remember, we have 3 characters, and the location, which is the suburban roof, which Flo has given us, the suburban roof, and also the time machine box with a button, right? I'm going to say with a red button. All right, so this is going to basically give us the prompt to generate each of these characters. So I'm going to send this and wait for it. Right, so now ChatGPT has generated all the characters that we need. Now you can see this is the first bird, the second bird, the third bird, and the suburban roof. Okay, so what we're going to do now is copy the first one, which is kick, copy this prompt over here and head back to flow. And I'm going to scroll up under the kick character, just click on top of it, and inside this visual description, paste in this prompt and click on create character. And that is basically going to create the kick character image for us. Okay, so now we have the image for Kick, and you can see this is the green parrot in our story. Okay, so now let's head back to ChatGPT, copy the next prompt, and you can see how easy it is to create your character images. And now we have Zalon. I'm going to click on this box and paste it right here. And again, click on create image. And again, I'm going to head back, copy for Brumo, and head over here, paste it as well, and click on create image. So that's going to create both of them. Okay, so now we have all our characters generated. You can see this is Bromo, this is Zalon, and this is the third bird, which is Kick. Now, if you noticed in the animation, you would notice that there is actually a fourth character, so to speak. So if I forward this, now we have this parrot right here dressed in this futuristic armor. So we need to create its character in this futuristic armor. So to do that, I'm going to head over to ChatGPT, and what I would do is tell it to give me what's his name now. So give me a prompt for Brumo after time travel. Okay, so give me a character prompt for Bromo after time travel. Now Bromo is of course this bird right here. Okay, so let's send that. Okay, so now we have this prompt for Bromo after time travel, which of course we display the bird in that hammer. So now let's copy it now and head back to Grok flow. Let's head back to flow. And now we are going to add a fourth character right here. And to do that, just head over to these 3 dots right here, click on add character, and just write this, change this to Bromo after time travel. So now what I'm gonna do is pasting that prompt right here and click on create, and that is basically going to create the character of Bromo after the time travel. Okay, so now we have Bromo after time travel, and this is what it looks like. And yeah, so that completes all our characters, and now we can head over to the location and head back to the prompt which we were given, which is this one. Copy the prompt as well, head back over here, select your location, and you can paste that right here and click on create. Okay, so now we have our location image right here on our storyboard, and now we are going to head over to the props, which is the time machine. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, copy the prompt for the time machine and head back here. Also select the props, which is a time machine, and paste that right here as well. Then click on create image. Okay, so now we have our time machine, and now we have everything we need to start creating the images for our animation. So we have the character, we have the location, and we have the prop. Now, once you've done this, or while you are always doing this, one thing you should always do is to save your story, because once you exit this browser, you can't have access to this story studio anymore. So what you always want to do is click on save story, and this gets downloaded. And next time you head over, you come to flow, you can always come here and click on open story. Then you have all the images, your storyboards, and everything will be loaded for you. And of course, I'm going to provide you um with the saved storyboard I have used for this tutorial exactly, so that you can load it directly on your flow, on your storyboard studio, and have access to all the images I generated for my storyboard. Okay, so now that we are done with the character generation, now we are going to head over to storyboard, and this is where we are going to start mixing up the images to create the camera angles that we need to do to generate our videos. Now, just before we proceed, let me show you what I mean by loading up your story in case you close your browser. So let's assume I click on done. Now I'll be directed back to flow, and if I should head back to storyboard studio right here, click on storyboard studio. Now this is going to show up on a clean slate, more like you're just starting up a new project and you don't have access to the images you have just created. So remember, we have downloaded our story. What you just have to do is head over here and click on open story, and this is the story I had just downloaded. Click on it and select open, and that is going to open up your script, your assets, and also your storyboard for you. So that makes it easy to resume your project. And I'm going to provide my personal storyboard for you to just load up and follow along if you wish, or you can start from the scratch just like we are doing right now. All right, so now let's move to storyboard. And when you move to storyboard, this tool will already populate the scenes that are supposed to show up in your animation. So you can see we have the suburban rooftop day, and we have shot one, shot two, shot three, and down to shot six. Okay, now just in case if this storyboard is not populated automatically for you by scene, you head back to your script and paste in that particular script inside of this box and send, and click on this send icon just in case it is not populated. But most times it will, but in case you do not see all of these right here, just go back and do that. All right, so now we have two options. You can either create your shorts by yourself. Now, what I mean by shorts is, so if I go to my animation, now each of these um, scenes were generated with images. Of course, you know that if you're already following this channel. So this is an image which was created from a short, and it will eventually be turned into a video, of course. So this is a short. If I move forward, this is another shot. If I move forward, you can see we have the time machine right here. This is a shot. So that's basically what this tool is going to generate automatically for us. But sometimes it could be perfect, sometimes it might not, and you would have to generate those shots all by yourself. But anyways, this tool actually makes things easy. So let's try and see if we can get perfect shots, and if not, we are going to generate them by ourselves, which is most likely what we're going to do. But just for you guys to see how good this tool is, so you can go ahead and right here you can select the number of shots that you want to generate, and you can go ahead and click on autofill scene. So by so doing, it's going to create these scenes that are supposed to be in your script automatically for you. Hey, so now you can see this tool has now generated a storyboard for our story. Now it's analyzed the script and it was able to generate in chronological order what our scenes or the cuts in our animations should look like. So basically, if you're doing this for a story, what you now have to do is analyze the script, make sure they follow along with your script because, of course, it's an AI and it can always make mistakes. And you can see right here, this is the red parrot wearing the helmet instead of the yellow parrot. So you might have to tweak some of those to align with your script. But I mean, it just gives you a very good starting point. And I'll show you how to basically create your own storyboard in case the auto fill scene fails. Okay, so now we have a starting point, but of course, we're not going to be using this because I already created this animation and we're just going to repeat the whole process that I did to create mine. And if we're going to do that, this storyboard isn't going to work for us. Okay, so now we are going to create our first scene on this storyboard. So if this is the animation video, if I scroll back, now here is the first scene right here. So to do that, I'm going to minimize this again and let's head back here. Okay, so now we are going to make that our first scene. So click on the first panel right here and we need a prompt that is going to give us this camera angle right here. Okay, so I'm going to paste the prompt right here in this is the first shot. And in this first shot, we're just going to have Zilon and Kick, which is if I go back, it's going to be Zalon and Kick, the green bird and the red bird. And obviously they are the ones appearing here. So let's head back to the storyboard, select these, and again, I'm going to paste this, make sure it's pasted. And over here, the reference asset right here, this is where you select the characters or the location that you want in your shot. So for now, I do not want this. For now, we don't want the time machine. Even the location, we don't need it as well. So we're just going to leave Zalon and Kick in this location. And of course, again, I'm going to provide all the prompts I used for this animation. Even the videos I have generated will be available for you. You can just download them and even create the animation all by yourself in case you are not able to generate the exact angle right here. So this is the camera angle. And once you have that, just click on create. And that's basically going to create the angle for us, hopefully. Right, so here is the camera angle, and you can see this is almost the same thing like this, just that they are in horizontal or is it vertically aligned opposites. So this is it, and of course this can also work for your animation. So it doesn't have to be exactly the way my reference animation was. So we have this angle, basically these two birds looking at the time machine and asking and having the dialogue of what the time machine is all about. Okay, so now we're going to move to the next shot. Now we have this established, we just have to generate videos from it, which we'll do later on in this video. But now let's continue with our storyboard. Let's look at the next scene that we would need. So here is the animation. If I scroll forward, you can see we can still use this. So we have the time machine. Of course, we don't have to we don't have to do this just yet because we already have an image for the time machine. So I'm going to scroll. We still have this shot already, and I'm going to keep scrolling. And over here, we need this shot of this bird coming into the conversation right here. Okay, so let's do that. So what we are going to do is basically copy this same prompt. I'm going to select this first image we have generated, and I'm going to copy this prompt because we're going to be working with it as well. And now select this second one. Now you can always rename your angles right here. So this is the mysterious device. I can say checking out the device or whatever you think works for you. Just name it out. Just name it to fit into whatever you're doing. So checking out the device, and that works. So this is Brumo joining them on. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But now we're going to delete this current prompt. And remember, I have copied the same prompt right here, and I'm going to paste this. So what we want now is the third bird joining in this view. So basically, I'm going to look into this prompt where it says two birds, and I'm going to change this to the three birds. Three birds and close up of, so wherever it says three birds, I'm just going to change this to three. From two, change them to three, and okay, so I think this should basically do it. And now in the reference assets, we are going to get rid of all of these, and now we just want the three birds in this cut or in this scene. And once you are sure, just click on create, and hopefully that should give us an angle that looks like this one. Okay, so now this is what we have, and you can see we have the same angle, but the only thing is that the Rumo bed, that is the yellow bed, is meant to be in the middle. Now, if I check our reference, you can see he's in the middle right here, but over here is towards the left. So what you can do is you can always tweak your prompt to whatever way you want it. So I'm just going to type in Bromo should be in the middle. So guys, this tutorial is basically just to show you how you can tweak things around, especially when you're creating other animations, not necessarily this animation, and that is the essence of this course or this tutorial. So now I have said Brumo should be in the middle, and I'm going to click on create, and hopefully that should put the yellow bird in the middle. Okay, so now we have Brumo in the middle. Now this is not necessarily a perfect shot, but we just leave it as it is this way. And now you can see Brumo is in the middle, and we have the other birds, the green bird right here, and of course the red bird over here. So let's go ahead and create the other shots that we are going to convert into videos as well. Right, so if I head back to the animation, I'm just going to fast forward. We still have these shots. Now the next shot is this wide shot showing the three birds in front of the time machine. Okay, so let's head back, and we're going to use this third one for that. And again, I have a prompt that we're going to use for this. So I'm just going to paste in the prompt right here, and the prompt is quite long, and of course it's going to be available for you. And if we go back to this scene over here, you can see we have the three birds, we have the time machine, and we have the location as well. So we want to make sure that those are selected right here. So of course we already have the three birds, we have the time machine, the big red button. Let's get rid of this, and let's add up the location because the location is not here. So to do that, just click on the plus sign, and I'm going to scroll. So the suburban location, select that, and that basically adds up the location in your reference asset. So once you're cool with that, just click on create image, and that should create the angle that we want. Okay, so now we have our third shot, and you can see it looks almost the same thing as these shots that we have right here. So we have the three birds looking at the time machine in this location. Okay, now let's see the next shot that we have to generate in our animation. If I scroll, now you can see we have this shot of the green bird um, making a confrontation with the red bird. Now to do that again, let's let's create another storyboard, and I also have a prompt for this. So again, select this box and I'm going to paste in this prompt over here as well. And in this scene, we have just the green bird. If I go back, we have just the green bird and the red bird, which is Zalon and Kick, and they are in the location, which is the rooftop location. So I'm going to remove this and remove this. And I think that is fine. And then you can go ahead and create the image. Okay, so the image has been generated, and now you can see we have this confrontational scene right here, which looks almost 100% identical to this, if not 100%. And you can see we have that all set right here. Right, so we are making good progress. So now let's check out the next shot that we need to generate for our animation. If I go back to the video and I scroll forward, and we have this shot. We already have this shot, remember? So this is the same shot we have right here. So we can always use this as well for that shot. We don't have to generate this again. So if I scroll forward, the bird disappears. We have this shot, we have this as well, and we have this shot, of course. So I'm going to show you guys how we get these shots while we are animating the videos. And boom, this shot comes right here. So we need this shot when this guy appears in this armor. All right, so let's do that. All right, so I'm going to minimize this, and now we don't have any board left, so we're going to create a board. I'm going to go to this frame and click on add frame. Okay, so we have this frame here, and you can name it whatever you want. Let's call it time traveler. Okay, so we have time traveler over here, and what we're going to do is paste this prompt right here. So this prompt describes the time traveler with these guys over here. So basically we are aiming at this particular scene over here. Okay, so now we are going to drop in our assets that we want in this scene, which is, I'm going to clear this, which is the Brumo bird. We want the green bird in this scene as well. Sorry, okay, so we want Brumo, but it's not going to be the normal Brumo. This time is going to be the Brumo that has pressed the button and came back from the future. Okay, so we want Zalon, we want the kick bird, and now we can select this particular disheveled Brumo right here after the time travel. And then we're going to select the um, location and also the time machine. So we have a lot of assets going on in this scene, and this is another advantage over Whisk that this Storyboard Studio has. You can add as many assets as you want. Okay, so now with this prompt and with these assets, you can go ahead and click on create image. All right, so here is the image we have for this third scene, and it's a little bit different, and of course it can't always be the same thing, but you can see this is actually what we wanted, and now we have this scene. Okay, so if I head back to the video, and I think that is basically the last cut that we have to create. Okay, so now we have all our images that we are going to be using for our video. Now I showed you guys the steps so that you can also regenerate it if you want, but for this tutorial we are going to be using the same images I had used for my workflow while I was creating this animation, right? So basically I'll provide the storyboard for you guys as well, so you can download and also have access to the original one I used for this animation. All right, so now that we have created our images, it is now time to convert these images into videos and start with the interesting part, which is the animation process. And for that, we're going to be using Grok. All right, so let's move on. All right, so it's time to generate videos. Now, just to point this out, if you want to download these images that you have generated, you just have to right click on top of them and click on save as, and that is basically going to save that on your device. And if you do not wish to download them, you can just copy them by right clicking as well and select copy, and then you can paste that basically on Grok, which we are going to be using for this tutorial. All right, so let's head over to Grok already. So just before we head over to Grok, I have just loaded my original storyboard. That is the storyboard I used for the animation, which is this animation we have seen. So here they are, and of course I'll make them available if you want to use my exact storyboard. And you can also go ahead, I would advise you use your own storyboard so that you can get to understand the flow. So basically, we are going to copy the first scene right here, which is this one. And if I go to the animation, now you can see that it starts with this first scene. If I play it,
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
so this conversation, we are going to have to animate it first. All right, so I'm going to head over to my Grok. Okay, so I'm here in Grok, and the first thing we're going to do is head over to Grok Imagine. And right here is where we are going to start our animation, and the first thing I'm going to do is paste in our prompt. Now if we go to our script, I'm going to head over to our script, which is this one. You can see here is the conversation, and we have it say what is it, and the other bird says it's one of those things they talk into. So we have this conversation between these two birds, which we want to use in our first scene. And now let's head back to Grok. Okay, so I'm here in Grok and I'm going to paste this prompt. So I have this prompt with the dialogue as well. So it says character personality. Now Grok can be very sensitive, and to be honest, you have to go through a whole lot of retake and retakes before you get exactly what you actually want. So right here it says red bird, annoyed, serious, easily irritated, and the green bird. So this basically describes the character of the bird. Now you can always get prompts for ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT to streamline, give you a good prompt for Grok so that you can use it to animate your video. But of course, we are not going to be going through that process because we are just recreating an animation I already did. So let's follow this workflow. And of course, this is going to be available for you as well if you're following along. So it just basically describes the character of those two birds. And then this is the dialogue. So it says dialogue speaks exactly as written. So the red bird, now we're not going to be using their names right here. So we're going to be naming them the red bird and the green bird. So I'm going to head back to my own storyboard, which is this one. And remember, we're creating the first scene. So copy this image. You don't have to necessarily download it. And I'm going to head back to Grok. I have a lot of tabs open right here, and it's so frustrating. Okay, so I'm going to paste in that image, which is this one. And now we have the red bird, which is the one towards the right saying what is it, and we have the green bird saying it is one of those things they talk into. And of course, so I limited this to just 4 dialogues. Now if you go to the script, you can see we have as much as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, a very long dialogue, but we can't put them here because Grok will mix everything up as time goes on. So we just have to limit it to 4, and then we can continue recreating other scenes. I'll show you how to continue with the other dialogues. Okay, so now that we have this, make sure this is set to 10 seconds if you're using Grok. So now that we have all these prompts, now you can go ahead and click on send, and that should generate the dialogue for you. Now, I'm not going to resend this because I already did, and going through it over again might just give me a wrong video. But of course, this is the exact prompt I used, and you can go ahead and generate yours if you're following along, and you would get a result that looks like this. So right here is the result for my generation for the first scene.
What is it? It's one of those things they talk into. You mean a phone? Whatever it's called.
Okay, so here is my generation for the first scene. Now you can see that their voices are not necessarily the same thing with the original animation. One, now if I play this,
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
now here, and this guy's voice is actually different. Now this is so because now the voice, the dialogue that Grok gives is not necessarily crystal clear, and using it for a professional animation might just sound a bit off or fake. So I had to change their voices using 11 labs. I had to create their voices, which of course I'm going to show you later on in this tutorial for both of them, and had to place them in my video editor. So if you're wondering why their voice is different, we're just going to keep the voices as well because we need the mouth sync when we change their voices with the audios we generate in 11 labs. Okay, all right, so I just want to say if you're enjoying this tutorial so far, please take time out to like this video and also get subscribed to the channel because we are going to do more of these in the future together. And yeah, so let's move on. Okay, so now after the first conversation, now if I go back to my script, you can see this was where we stopped, whatever it's called, right? If I go to the video,
Whatever it's called.
okay. Now we need to generate what the next scene after this, which is the red bird says it's called a phone, and that's not a phone. I think it's a phone. And from here down to this place, your mother is an 8-bit. Okay. So now to do that, now Grok only allows you to generate 10 seconds of video. Of course, you can extend it on Grok, but once you start to extend it after 10 seconds, everything starts to fall apart and it doesn't go well. So what I always do is I would right click on top of the frame and select copy video frame. So click on copy video frame and you just go to Grok Imagine, create a new chart, and now you can paste that video frame that you have copied, which is this one. So why we are doing this is so that it flows into our video. So when we are merging them in our video editor, it can basically merge together. So now you can see I have this frame. That's the frame for the last scene that we had just generated. And now I'm going to paste in a prompt that I already have as well. All right, it's the prompt, and you can see this is a continuation. Again, we have the instruction for personality of the characters, and then we have the continuation of our conversation where the red bird says it's called a phone, and that's not a phone. The green bird says I think it's a phone. So I'm going to play it in the original so that we will get it.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
I think it's a phone.
Okay, I'm just going to stop right here. Okay, so now we have this conversation from here, and it's going to end at what did you say? And I added no camera movement. Now, again, sometimes just a side note, sometimes Grok can add background musics to your uh, video creations. So just in case you do not want that, you can add a bracket which says no background music and no ambient sound. I'm not going to type that out, but you can always add that. So just in case it has a background music. All right, so now that we have these, you can go ahead and send this. I won't do that again because I have already generated that, but I'm going to show you the result, and here is the result.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone. I think it's a phone. And I think you're a nitwit. Your mother's a nitwit. What did you say? It's called a phone.
Okay, so this creation was actually perfect. And again, you can see it still has the male voices. Do not worry about that. We changed that with 11 Labs. Okay, now we have that out of our way. Let's move on. So this scene actually ends with the red bird shouting, "What did you say?" And if we go back to our script, that is going to be here. What did you say? So next, the bird starts pecking Zilon on the head. That is where the bird starts to, peck the other one on the head, and the other bird was shouting, "Ow, ow, ow." So let's see that in the video.
And I think you're a nitwit.
Your mother's a nitwit.
What did you say?
Ow, 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 ow. Stop that.
Okay, so that is right here. And how we did that is, let's head back. So over here, again, what I did was I copied this last frame again so that we can have a continuation. So what you're going to do is right click and select copy video frame. And again, you're going to head over to Grok Imagine. So head over to the home page of your Grok, create a new chart, and I'm going to paste this last frame again, which is this one. Remember to always paste the last frame, and then I'm going to paste in prompt right here. Okay, so let's paste in this prompt right here, and the prompt says the red parrot starts pecking the green parrot on the head repeatedly and fast, and the green parrot says ow, 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 ow. Okay, so we have that, and that's basically what I did for the next frame, which is right here. Okay, and send that, and that is going to give you this.
Ow, ow, ow!
Okay, so now looking at this, it doesn't look so good, but it would be useful in the end. And of course, the sound is also so good. I had to generate the sound on 11 Labs, but just download this. Now make sure you keep download. Of course, I don't have to tell you that. You know you're supposed to download your videos and keep them in a folder. And if you like, you can rename them as well. All right, so let's move on. So let's look at the next thing on our script. So it says I'll stop that, and then Brumo looks at this strange square. So the third bird comes in and says, "What you guys looking at?" So let's watch the video and see what's next. Okay, so third bird joining them in this scene. Now this is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to show you guys how I achieved that. Okay, so if I minimize this and head back here, so here's the last scene which we just created. So now here's what we're going to do for that scene of that third bird joining them. Now remember we created a scene. Now the first scene, which is this one, these two birds looking at the time machine. So the first thing we are going to do is to paste that right here, paste the image right here of the two birds looking at the time machine. So what you want to do is copy this frame and head back to Grok, and first I'm going to paste that. Now we want it to transition into the third bird entering into the scene, just like we have in the video right here. So the third bird will bring its head, poke its head into the camera frame. So to do that, we are going to also copy the other image which we have generated, but I'm going to be using this was the one we generated. So the third bird pokes its head. So if you are using your own generation, use this, and also use this one as the second reference image. So what we are doing is a transitioning from frame 1 to frame 2. All right, so let's head back to Grok, and now I'm going to paste in the second image. Okay, so now I have the first frame, and now I have this frame where the third bird pokes its head into the scene. Now what you want to do is type in art. So type art, then select the first image right here. And then I'm going to give it this prompt. It says the two birds look at the camera, then the third bird joins them. Then reference this other image right here. So again, type in art and then select image 2, which is this one. So basically what we are telling Grok is that we want to transition in from this first image into this second image right here, and that is basically going to give you this result. So basically send this, and this is going to be your result. Okay, so that's how we got that scene. All right, so let's see the next scene. And if I go to our video and I play this, so we
What
also
you
have
guys looking at?
here.
A phone.
Okay, so you guys looking at, and the guy says a phone. So we need that scene as well. And of course, we are going to just basically continue with this scene. So again, you just have to scroll to the last frame of your video. Make sure you are at the last frame, and again, right click and copy. All right, so you want to paste the image in the new chat on Grok and paste this prompt right here. So basically, we have some instruction for the prompt to be able to follow the dialogue as well. And the dialogue is what you guys looking at, and the green bird says a phone, and make sure it's 10 seconds as well, and then you send this, and that is basically going to give you this.
At. Phone. What you guys looking at? A phone.
Okay, so go ahead and download it as well. All right, so let's move on. Okay, I'm going to head back to our video.
Why don't you just push the button?
Okay, so why don't you just push the button? So again, remember we have this reference image in our creation, which is right here. And what you're going to do is again head back to Grok and generate that. So now go ahead, copy the image right here and head back to Grok and paste it right here. And of course, you are going to paste that same image. So here's the prompt. It says the yellow bird in the middle raises its head and says, why don't you just push the button? Okay, so when I generated this was my result right here.
Why don't you just push the button?
Now you can see the bird goes ahead to push the button, but I had to cut that aspect over and put it at the end. I didn't ask it to push the it was useful, or no, it wasn't useful. I just remembered now, it wasn't useful. So I just used the aspect where it says, why don't you just push the button? And that basically just worked for me. So sometimes when you are generating these stuffs, you have to do some cutting when you're doing the editing. So once you do this, go ahead and also download your video. Okay, so let's see what we have in the next scene.
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button?
Okay, so where they are being confrontational, and of course we already generated that, which is right here. So you just have to copy the image as well, and I'm sure you guys get the drift already. Head to Grok and paste it into a new chat right here. And of course I'm going to make the prompt available as well in the description of the video. Okay, and paste the prompt right here. So the prompt is quite long as well, but basically the green parrot says, yeah, genius, why don't you just push the button? The red parrot talks, and yada yada yada. Just going to play it out.
Why don't you just push the button? You. Push it!
Okay, so that's basically it. And when you send this, you're going to get this result right here.
Genius, why don't you just push the button? Why don't you just push the button? You push it.
Okay, so that's it. Now remember, we're still going to change the voice and using 11 labs, and I'll show you how you do that. All right, so that's the scene. Let's see what's. Okay, so this scene, and the bed basically goes to press the time machine, and how we did that was we already generated, yeah, so we use this shot as well. Copy it, copy this, copy the image, head back to your image generator. Now you don't necessarily have to use Grok, of course, but I'm more used to Grok, and Grok is cheaper, and that's why we have been using Grok. So basically just paste the image right here, and of course you're going to use the prompt, which is this one right here. So the middle bird steps forward, pushes the red buttons, and disappears. The green bird and the red bird were statue and yada yada yada. So send this, and this is going to be your result. Okay, pretty cool, huh? All right, so that's it. Let's see what is next.
It's not a phone.
This was just you can see I keep switching to the time machine, and I added a voiceover of "It's not a
Not a
phone,"
phone.
and then we have this. We have this scene. Now how we did this scene is this way. Let's head back to here. Now what I did was, again, the last frame I copied this, so click again, copy frame, and you are going to open up a new chart and paste this image right here. So we're going to have the first frame, which is this one, and the next frame is going to be the one we generated, which is when the guy had already appeared, which is this one. And in my case, here is my own storyboard, so this one. So copy the image and head back to Grok. So we're going to have a transition from here to here. So that's how the guy appears. And now the prompt is the major thing. Here's the prompt I used. Okay, so here's the prompt. It's quite long, and it's just basically saying the guy appears, and not basically anyway, it's quite long. So the prompt is available for you as well. All right, so basically it's going to transition from here to here. All right, so when you have this, just click on send, and this is going to be your result right here.
I want it out!
Okay, so there you go. And of course, we are going to cut a lot of things off during the editing process. All right, so if we go back to our video, I'm going to play this again.
What happened? I want to go next.
Okay, so that's okay. Again, subscribe and subscribe. All right, so that is basically the last scene, and to get that last scene of I want to go next, again, just head to the last frame, right click and copy video frame, and of course head back to right here, and you know the drill, paste that right here and give it this prompt. So right here is the prompt. It says the green bird pointing at the box. I want to go next, and the other birds remain speechless and no movement. Very important instructions. and you can send this, and when you do, this is the result you are going to get.
I want to go next!
All right, so there you go, and that is basically all the scenes. So once you have done all of these, you just head over and download all of them, keep them in a folder. Let us move to the editing process. Let's go. All right, so just before we go to the editing process, we also have to animate. I forgot. So we animate the time machine, which of course we're going to be using a whole lot. And here is the prompt right here. So it's just a static shot, of course, and with a little zoom. So make sure that it's also animated. The prompt is also available. Use it to animate everything. And of course, the video is also going to be available to you in case you don't get the exact um, shots. All right, so let's move on. Now, just before we head over into our editor, we need to generate the voices for our animation. Now, remember I mentioned that we are not going to be using the voices that has been generated by Grok. And for that, we are going to be using 11 Labs for the voiceovers in our animation. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly show you how to go about it, and you can as well generate all the voices for your animation. Okay, now you are basically going to choose 3 voices. Since we have 3 characters in our animation, we have the first bird, the second, and the third bird. Now if I go to our script, now you can see it starts with what is it, which is the statement by the first bird, which is a lady. If I head back to our video right here,
What is it?
so it says what is it. So we need a character in 11 Labs for her, for him, and the third character as well. So I'm just going to show you for the first 2, and of course you can go ahead and do for the remaining characters. And I'm going to head back to 11 Labs and type in that line, which is what is it. Now for that lady, I used a character called, I think, Hope, if I'm correct. Of course you can, there are a lot of voices right here, so go ahead, check whichever one works for you. Once you're fine with whosoever you are using for the first bed, make sure you stick to that person and always switch to the name when you need to create a dialogue for them. So what is it? I'm going to click on generate.
What is it?
Okay, so that's it. So you basically just download that and you have that line. And again, you can head back to the script, copy the next one, which is the other bird, the green guy, and go back here, paste that line. And for this guy, I think I used this voice right here, and click on generate.
It's one of those things they talk into.
So that's it. Just once you're done, click on download, and just when you do that, make sure you are renaming them. So I can say it's one of those things. So just rename them, keep it in a folder where it is accessible to you, and you can do that for the rest of the scripts. If I go to our script, so just keep switching the voices and generate the voices one after the other and download each of them. All right, so once you have done that, now we can head over to our editor and edit our video, and I'm super excited for this stage. Right, if you haven't subscribed, please get subscribed. All right, and for this we're going to be using CapCut. If you don't have CapCut, of course you can use Premiere Pro. To be honest, I actually use Premiere Pro for the sample video you watched in the beginning of the tutorial, but I figured it's more easy to teach people online with CapCut because most people are used to CapCut. All right, so let's head over to our CapCut. Right, so I'm over here in CapCut, and the first thing I'm going to do is import all my assets, which are the videos. I'm going to click on import, and I have saved them, I think, right here. Okay, so here are all my assets, so I'm going to import them right here. And we have all our assets right here. Now we're going to
It's
basically,
called a phone, and that's not a phone.
okay, so we're going to check out the assets and put them in our timeline. And I think,
What is it? It's one of those things they talk into.
okay, so this is going to be the first one. So we're going to put that right here. And I'm going to scroll to the end. Now, if you're a good editor, I'm sure you don't need all of these, but you might want to stick around and see how I go through some of those complicated areas. Okay, so I'm going to play. And
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
okay, so this comes next. And we're going to have it this way.
Whatever it's called. It's called a phone.
So I'm going to dial this down and dial this. Okay. I'm going to untick this so I can separate my timelines from each other.
Phone? Whatever it's called. It's called a phone.
Now you can see over here, if we leave it this way, so
Whatever
if I
it's
play,
called. It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
you can see the transition was pretty awkward, which was why I had to put, and of course it's not exactly why, because it actually makes sense to put what they are actually looking at before the next statement. Okay, so let's drag in the time machine into the middle right here. Okay, so now we're going to have them looking at the time machine before the next statement. So I'm just going to play that right now.
Phone? Whatever it's called.
I think I trimmed this a lot, so I'm going to stretch it and bring this back here, and let's play this.
Whatever it's called.
Okay, so let's play this and see. So this is long enough. Trim this down and join this to it. Okay, now remember we're going to turn off all the background music. We're not going to be using the sounds from Grok. We're going to be using ours.
Phone? Whatever it's called.
So they look at the device.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone. I think it's a phone. And I think you're a nitwit. Your mother's a nitwit. What did you say?
Okay, to be honest, I actually love the reaction from the original sound. It sounds really realistic. But of course, mine, the one we did, is also actually good enough. So let's move on. Okay, so now the next thing, I can't remember what the next thing is. Okay, yeah, I remember now. So the next thing is this parrot biting, pecking the head of this other one. So we're going to look for that short, and I think the short is this one. Okay, so there is the short. I'm just going to click and drag it inside here.
What did you say?
Oh, oh, oh.
Okay, now this owl sound was generated on 11 Labs. So if I go to 11 Labs, I'm just going to show you how I did that. So in case you're wondering, and of course it's available to you. So I don't know why I need to trouble myself about that, but I mean, I need to show you guys. So click on generate. And
Ow, ow, ow.
okay, that's a weird how, but you know the drill. You can add more holes to it and see what that gives you.
Ooh, ow, ow. Ooh, ow.
No, that's not it. But I mean, you can always do that on your own. So let's head back to our editor and
You're a
let's.
nitwit. Your mother's a nitwit. What did you say?
Ow, ow, ow.
Now you can see how this switches seamlessly without any distortion.
Ow, ow.
Okay,
What
so
is it?
that's cool, and they are done. So again, you can see the guy looks at the device. So we want to bring in the device again, and right here, I'm going to dial it down again. So it looks at the device, and then we have the next scene. So what's going to be in the next scene? I think that's basically the third bird joining them, right? So let's look for that. And I think, yeah, so this is it. Drag this in, and then we have the third bird joining them. Okay. And then the third bird asks, what you guys doing? So I'm going to look for that clip, which is,
What you guys looking at?
okay, what you guys looking at? Okay, hold on. So after the bird comes in, stares at the device, I think we need to show the device again to emphasize that they are staring at the device. So I'm going to drag in the device again into the timeline and just dial it down a bit. And if we play this, you can see it makes sense that they are looking, it makes sense that they are looking at the device. I'm just going to head forward. And now we can have that question of what you guys doing.
What you guys looking at? A phone.
Okay, so that's enough right here. We have some weird things happening here. We don't want that. So wherever you have anything weird, just cut it off like so. And once again, to cover the weirdness, let's put in the time machine again briefly. And I'm going to reduce this a tad little bit like so. And I think this is fine. And from here, the bird asks, why don't you just push the button? I'm correct. So I think it's a good practice for us to always check the reference, right? So we are over here.
Phone.
Why don't you just push the button?
Okay, so there it is. Let's head back to CapCut, and where was the question asked? I think that's this clip.
Why don't you just push the button?
Okay, so I'm going to drag that right here, and so they're staring at it, and you want it to start right here. So I'm just going to clip it and join this right like so.
Why don't you just push the button?
Yeah, so that's enough. Cut that. And we have the confrontational scene, which is this one. And I'm going to bring it right here. So I'm going to confirm. Let's head back to,
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button?
yeah, there you go. So um here's that scene.
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button? Why don't you just push the button? You push it.
Okay, so after
Push
the
it.
last statement, it makes it green, and I'm just going to cut it right here. Okay, so let's see what's next.
Why don't you just push the button? You. Push it.
Okay, so the dumb guy goes to push the time machine thing, and that is going to be this one. So I'm going to drag it right here. So the stare in disbelief, and what else?
It's not a phone.
Okay, so we have this box again, and there is a voiceover saying it's not a phone. We're going to do that later, but I'm just going to reduce this for now. And the next scene will be the scene where he reappears again, or she reappears. Boom. Okay, so I think that scene is going to be this one right here. Okay, so let's drag that right here, and I'm going to play.
I want it now!
Okay, and then we have where he says, I want to go next.
I want to go next!
Hey, so let's drag that. Or I've got to be sure. Let me see. Let's look at what happened.
What happened? I want to go next.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so I'm going to drag that right here.
I want to go next!
Here and black out. Now that we've arranged all our clips, now the next thing is to replace the voices, the dialogues with the ones we have downloaded from 11 Labs. Because remember, we're not going to be using the voice or the sound effects from the video we generated from Grok. All right, so let's import our, now you can download sound effects from Pixabay. So just head over to your browser. I'm just going to show you guys the website. So head over to Pixabay. That's if you're doing your animation yourself. Of course, all the sound effects I've used for this tutorial are in my resource file, so you can check them. But in case you're creating your own animations, you can always come to Pixabay. And if you need any kind of sound effect, a bomb, whatever it is, just check Pixabay and you can find all of them right here. Right, so I have all my sound effects already, so let's head back. And now the first thing we're going to do is, of course, import the dialogues. So I'm going to head over to my file folder, and I have my sounds here, and I have the dialogues. So here's what I've done. I have renamed all the dialogues so I can know what is what, and you don't have to be searching for your dialogues. So I'm going to import all the dialogues, and I have them right here. Okay, so now what you want to do is merge them with the original sound.
What is it?
So we have what is it. Now you look for what is it in your dialogue. And that is going to be around here. Here you go. So drag it, put it in your timeline, and what you want to do is make sure it is underneath this bar, sound bar right here. And I'm going to just mute this and watch the mouth. Watch her mouth.
What is it?
You can see that matches.
What is it? It's one of those things they talk into.
Okay, so it's one of those things they're talking to. I'm just going to find it as well. And I think
It's one of those things they talk into.
Okay, so you can always play it and drag it right here. So here it is. And again, I'm going to mute this and play and make sure it matches.
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
Okay, so guys, that's basically how you do that. So I'm sure you get a hang of it and you can move on from here.
You mean a phone?
So again, you mean a phone, just look for you mean a phone and put it right here. So we're changing, remember, this is going to be a lady's voice. So that is why we have to do this for the lady and of course for everything.
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
You mean a phone?
Okay, so that's basically it, guys. So I'm going to quickly do this and we're back in the next step. All right, so I just thought I should show you this aspect as well. So while this was going on, I had to add a statement here where it says it's not a phone. So it will be the green bird talking.
It's not a phone.
Right, so let's move on. Okay, so I'm done matching the voiceover with the original voice from the video, and
What is it?
you can
It's
see.
one of those things they talk into.
So I'm just going to mute these now, and you can go ahead and, you know what, let's just put them off and reduce the volume like so. And you can click each and go to audio, but I think this is faster. Doing it this way is faster, so I'm going to quickly do that now. Right, so now I've reduced the volume. Let's hear it and see what
What
it
is it?
sounds.
It's one of those things they talk into.
You mean a phone?
Whatever it's called.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
Okay, so we have our voice over now, and you can see it is quite boring, and that is because there is no ambience. The atmospheric ambience is absent, and it's just the voice sounding in there. So we need to add an ambience, and I already have an ambient sound downloaded, and of course you can get that in Pixabay as well if you want to. But I have that already, so I'm just going to put that right here. So I have it here. You can find it in the resource file as well. So here is the ambience. I'm just going to click and see if I can drag it right here. Okay, so that stayed there, and it is quite long, so we are going to have to reduce the length. So it's the ambience is about 45 minutes. And our animation is about a minute, I think. So make sure you reduce it. If not, it will just make your video very long and you're going to be expecting a 45 minutes long video instead of a 1 minute long video. Okay, so this is the ambience, and just trim it down to the last end of your video, which is, I think, right here. Okay, so there you go. And click on the ambient sound. I'm going to zoom in my playhead like so. And let's head back to the beginning. So the ambience is going to be quite loud, so you want to make sure that you reduce the volume. And let's listen to it now.
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
You mean a phone?
So it's still quite low. Let's turn it up and see.
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
Yeah, so it's pretty much okay now. Now, if you're not using an headset, you might not hear this,
You mean a phone?
Whatever it's called.
but it now fills the empty spaces right there.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
Okay, so that's cool. And if I scroll here, I should also tell
It's
you
not a phone.
um I added this statement right here.
It's not a phone.
Okay, so you should also do that. And over here, I added that R sound
What
and also the scream from this bird
happened?
and what happened statement from this guy. And that scream, I want to go next. Why is it not saying that? I guess I didn't add that. So it's going to put in the voice right here, I suppose. Okay, so there you go.
I want to go next.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so the next thing we're going to add is the explosion right after the button was pressed. And
The
also,
button.
okay, so just before the explosion, we need to add the button press as well.
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button?
Why don't you just push the...
And that is around here, okay. So we need to add that button press. And I think I have a sound for that as well. So what I'm going to do is import all my sound effects right here. And here they are. So I have the button press over here. I think that will be around here. So let's see. Cool. And then the disappearing sound. Now all these sounds I got them from Pixabay, so check them out. There you go. And next it's the
It's not a
explosion.
phone.
So we need the explosion sound, which comes, yeah, there you go. So boom. So let's get the explosion, which is this one, and I'm just going to put it right here. But you know what, let's drag it down and bring it somewhere here. Let's see.
What happened?
So I think this scream should come earlier than it did. So let's bring it right here and let's see. Over here.
What happened? I want to go next.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we are pretty much done here. So let's play the video right from the start and see what we have.
What is it?
It's one of those things they talk into.
You mean a phone?
Whatever it's called.
It's called a phone, and that's not a phone.
I think it's a phone.
And I think you're a nitwit.
Your mother's a nitwit.
What did you say?
Ow, 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 ow.
What you guys looking at?
A phone.
Why don't you just push the button?
Yeah, genius. Why don't you just push the button?
Why don't you just push the button? You. Push it!
It's not a phone. What happened? I want to go next.
Okay, so that's pretty much it, and I hope this video has been pretty much helpful for you. If you know it is, go ahead now. If you haven't subscribed, and I don't know why you haven't subscribed up to now, but get subscribed to the channel, like this video, and let's make 1K subscriber as soon as possible. All right, thank you for watching. Thank you for taking time out. If you've watched this video to this stage, pretty much appreciate that, and I'll see you guys in the next premium tutorial coming up. Peace.